iOS 16 just officially came out, so let's go and take a look at some of the best hidden features in a way about this version of software. I'm super excited about it. First thing first, I think most of us know this by now. The iPhone 7s and all those other iPhones are not supported, but I guess, we got to look at the positives. On the lock screen, we actually did end up getting one of the biggest updates. Now, this is not a hidden feature. I think everyone knows this by now, but to kind of give you a little breakdown, in order to even edit your lock screen, for those of you who don't know, you can hold down on the lock screen like this, and by then, what you can do is click on the customize button down here, and you can click add new, and you can customize your specific lock screen to your specific liking. So if you like your specific lock screen to have certain widgets, you can go ahead and choose whichever wallpaper you want. You can then go ahead and change the font of the specific, little time up there. You can click the plus button down here. You can add all sorts of widgets and everything. You can add a battery widget if you want to. There's a lot of different capability here. I won't hit on this like for 45 minutes, but without a doubt, the lock screen and having the capability of actually, modifying it, I'm super happy about it. You can also add your own wallpaper as well, which I kind of forgot about, I didn't notice. So you have the ability of adding your own wallpaper, so many other things too. So without a doubt, this is probably one of my favorite features within iOS 16. On top of that, the notifications will now no longer be in the center of the page. They'll now be at the bottom. Now, if you get text and everything, they'll basically be down here. You can always open up your notifications like this, and they should be able to pop up top sometimes. But that's another thing that's actually very, very interesting as well. Now, without going super in detail about some other things I'll go and hit on in a second, we actually have the ability, which this is I'm super excited about. We have the ability of now locking our hidden folder down here. So before, if you remember, you can go ahead and hide folders or hide videos and photos within your iMessage application down here. What you can actually do now is you can go ahead and edit and actually password lock this specific folder. So if you make your way over to your settings panel right here, you can scroll down into camera. You can scroll down into photos, which is right here. And right here where it says use passcode, if you go ahead and disable this, I think you should have the ability down here. It says essentially what you'll have to do is you can actually use a passcode to unlock that hidden folder. So you have to have a passcode on that iPhone. I don't have a passcode on this device, but as long as you have a passcode, you can enable that, and you will have to type in that passcode to actually access that hidden folder. So that is really cool. I'm super, super happy about that. But while we're in settings, another really cool thing we have within iOS 16 is finally the ability of seeing our Wi-Fi passwords. And this is something we've been trying to get within iOS 16, and now we actually have that ability. And if we go and click on that little password icon, it'll actually show us the password of our specific Wi-Fi. So I'm not going to show you, I don't want you guys connected to my Wi-Fi, but that's really all you have to do. And that's another awesome little feature we have within iOS 16, and I'm super happy about that. On top of that, another cool thing, Face ID now works in landscape mode. So if you have a device that, is supported with Face ID, it should work with landscape mode. Unless Apple did something weird like not giving it to the iPhone 10 or something, we should be able to have that on all iPhones, hopefully, or most iPhones that support, Face ID. Now we get into some of the craziest stuff. So within iMessage, this is something that blew my mind. We have the ability now of unsending messages, editing iMessages, and even unreading messages if we don't want them to be notified of us, reading them. We have that ability. Now, there's a big caveat. We can only do it up to 15 minutes after that specific message or whatever was sent. So keep that in mind. If you're rocking a certain iPhone and, you text them or whatever, it's supported with iOS 16, you walk away for 2 hours, you come back and you didn't mean to send it, you can't do it. It's only within 15 minutes. So if I go ahead and text myself something, right? For example, I text myself, hey, but let's say, oh, I didn't mean to text this person, right? Well, what I can do, as long as they didn't read it yet, I can go ahead and hold down this message like this, and I can click undo send. Now, interestingly enough, it does delete it on my end. I don't know why it still doesn't delete it on their end. I think there's still some things Apple needs to go ahead and do, but that is something that we have the ability now of doing. We can hold down on the message, and we can go ahead and undo the message right there with undo send. Now, let's say, for example, we went ahead and sent them a message and we had a typo or whatever the case is. Well, now what we can do, and this only works for iMessage, not text messages, we can hold down the message like this, and we can go ahead and click edit. Now, with this edit button, what we can do is we can go ahead and edit that text. So now instead of hi, whatever, let's say I wanted to say hello. Well, I can go ahead and type in hello like this. I can go and change it like this, and now watch what happens. It'll now change it on their end too of hello or whatever. I'm pretty sure it's going to change at some point. For some reason, it's still not working out that well. But again, it's going to get better throughout time, and hopefully it improves over time. We'll see what happens. But that's another awesome thing that we have within iOS 16 as well, and I'm honestly super happy about it. Now, share play, if you all aren't familiar, share play is a really cool thing, which, if you're on a FaceTime call or whatever, we actually have the ability of sharing our screen, sharing audio, so many other things within, iOS. But now SharePlay has its own little capability within the App Store. Now, there's a lot of different SharePlay sorted applications. For some reason, I don't know if I can go ahead and access the SharePlay apps within here, but if you type in SharePlay, I'm sure there's a lot of different things that come up. But we now have SharePlay within iMessages as well. So if you're ever listening to something within iMessage or you want to share something to somebody within iMessage, you should be able to access SharePlay eventually within this specific option as well, which is really cool. Now, if you all remember, live text was a really cool feature that came with the last version of software, and this basically allowed us to copy text from images. So here's an image, and I can actually copy text, but surprisingly, Apple has now added this capability with not only this device, but with the camera itself. So I don't know if this is going to work, but here I have the iPhone box. If I go and bring this text right in front of me, right, as you can see, that does bring up live text in the corner. So if I go and go like this, and if I go and copy the text like so, you can see I can click on the little box right there, and now I do actually end up getting that text right there. I can go ahead and copy this text. As you can see, I can go and drag this text into somewhere else. I can paste it right here, and that's another awesome thing that we have within iOS 16. Now, another big thing that I noticed, or that Apple mentioned, is that we now have live text within video as well. Now, I don't have a video to demonstrate this. I guess I could make a video of this, but essentially, if you have any video on your iPhone that has text in it, you should now also be able to go ahead and copy the text from that specific, video as well, which is crazy. Now, I have also noticed that right here, the little dots on the bottom that used to be dots right here have now turned into a little search bar. So now what we can do is we can click on that search bar and it brings us straight into Spotlight Search, which is very interesting. Now, Spotlight Search still works if you swipe down like that, but that's another thing I saw, which is actually very interesting. Now, we also have some cool little things within dictation. So if we go ahead and click here, you can see I'm typing or talking, and luckily for us, we actually still get this keyboard to stay here. Before it would just go away. Now we can actually go ahead and keep this keyboard here, and what we can actually do is we can go ahead and hover over certain text like this, and we can actually replace that text with whatever we're talking about. So it's a lot better, I would say. It's definitely not, foolproof. I'm still probably not going to be using dictation, but now the keyboard stays up, and we have a little bit more access with, real-time replacing of text while we're talking, which I think is pretty cool. Now, another funny thing that Apple actually put in here, which is very interesting, is copying, people or copying things from images. So if I go and hold down on this image here, you can see I can go ahead and I didn't even do anything. I literally just dragged this little dog from this image, and watch, it will automatically take that dog off the specific image right there, automatically remove that background. And now what I can do is I can drag and drop that specific dog background thing like that without even having to do anything. And that's crazy. That goes with pretty much anything on here. So if let's say I wanted to drag and drop this specific thing right here, well, it probably didn't detect something. But let's say maybe iOS 16 will work. And that didn't work either. The dog thing worked really well. Here's a teddy bear. This will probably work. As you can see, I'm holding it down right there. It's still not working. The first time it worked really, really well with that dog. But, for example, if you have something like that dog, for example, you can go ahead and automatically remove these types of things from this specific image like that. And you can go ahead and drag it onto something else, which is also really cool within iOS 16. So those are some of my favorite cool little hidden tricks and tips within iOS 16. If you know of any other ones, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.